Hello everyone, my name is Kenneth. Hopefully you guys will be able to see my screen right now. And for the next 25 minutes, we'll go ahead and talk about Navitas calendar and some of our options that is available to international students. And we'll also mention about the entry requirement for Singapore students as well. So that would hopefully be fun for you. So a bit introductions about myself. So my name is Kenneth. I'm the director of recruitment based in Hong Kong, so I'm actually in the same time zone with you guys. The regions that I cover is Greater China and Northeast Asia and also Southeast Asia. We have 7 university partners in North America, of which 4 of them are in Canada. So here is the 4 university partners that we have in Canada. So first of all, the first one is in Vancouver, Simon Fraser University. And then our second one is in Manitoba, Winnipeg, the University of Manitoba. The third one is in Toronto, Ryerson University. And then the fourth one, it's the main campus. So there's 2 campuses, one in Waterloo and then the other one in Bradford, Laurier University. So I would hope would be able to give you a brief overview of those 4 universities and how a student might be able to progress to those universities through our pathway there. So some very brief overviews of why people or students would love to study in Canada over the past many years. So first of all, it's a very welcoming and attractive study destination. And whether if you want us to stay behind in Canada after you graduate or you want us to return home, the degree it's very well recognized around the world. So it would actually give you a lot more opportunity if you want us to stay or you want us to return home or work any part of the world globally. The third reason is because Canada does provide some part-time work experiences while you're studying. Usually you can work around 20 hours per week while you're studying in Canada. And while you're studying at the university, there's many co-op, we call it internship opportunity for international students. And lastly, students after their graduation, they do have an option to do a few years postgraduate work right after completion of their degree. And if you decided that Canada, you wanted to call it home, you have opportunity to apply for permanent residency after your graduation. So a little bit overview of Navitas. So we work with 32 university partners in 10 countries, including Canada, US, UK, Australia, and also New Zealand. Our university partner have program and streamlined the admissions process designed for international students. So we'll explain that in a little bit of what that means. And our partner cover most major city, including Simon Fraser in Vancouver or Ryerson in Toronto. We also have school in New York and Boston. And we had over 30 years experiences in doing a pathway program with universities around the world. To talk a little bit about our pathway model, so we do have 2 sort of entry point for international students to study at one of our partner university. So the first one is we call it the stage 1. Basically, this is a foundation program for students completed at year 11 or IGCSE. So students competing with their year 11 and don't want to go into year 12, then they could do a foundation program, which is an 8-month program that they can do with us. And after that, they will be progressing on to stage 2, and then later on, year 2 of the university. The green part is what we call it a pathway, and this pathway is actually an on-campus pathway program. For students who completed at A-level or year 12, they would be considered to come into our program called the stage 2, which is the equivalence of the first year of university. And then afterwards, they will be able to progress on to year 2. For the benefits of the international pathway program called stage 2, we offer a smaller class size for students, so that's typically 20 to 30 students as opposed to 100 and 150 students. So the class size that you will have under our pathway program, it's much less. And we do offer extended instruction time, class hour. So in the same week, you would usually have more class hour than you were going to directly enter the university as a year one student. The third benefit is we offer 3 intakes per year, which is typically during the September, which is the biggest intake. We also offer it for January if student missed the September intake, and also May intake as well, depending on if you wanted to take a gap year or you might be from another education system where you might not be graduating in June or July time. And the fourth thing is we also offer academic support that will include extra tutoring after your class, advising, and also workshop as well while you're with us during your first year at the universities. So basically, while you're doing your stage 2 program, it is the same, or I would call it an enhanced experience of your first year experience. And after your first year, again, it's very important to be aware of that you will be progressing to year 2 of the university. And you will pretty much have the same courses, the curriculums that you would, whether you're taking the stage 2 or the direct entry year 1. You're using the same campuses, library, you have the same opportunity to internship after you completed the program, and also all of the spot center or any other facility on campus, you will have access to those as well. So let's look at the 4 university that we have partnered with. So the first one is Simon Fraser University in Vancouver. So it is a #1 comprehensive university according to McLean University ranking, and it's so Vancouver is the 3rd most livable city in the world according to The Economist in 2020. And I'd say that Vancouver, it's the if you're aware, if you don't want to be like a climate that is, I guess, closer to the Asia climate, then I think Vancouver would provide that very, you quite enjoy it when you're living in Vancouver, unlike Toronto, where you might see it on the news where it got some snow in the winter. And but in Vancouver, even though it's the winter, it might not snow as much as the other major city in Canada. So again, Vancouver, it's the 3rd most livable city in the world, and it is with 2.3 million people living in Vancouver. So many students do like that fact that it is a big city in Vancouver. Our campus, though, it's located in Burnaby, so it is about 45 minutes to an hour away by SkyTrain or by bus. At Simon Fraser University, there's 8 faculty with over 35,000 students there. And for the research sort of ranking there, as you can see, and there's 139 million research funding that over the last 15 years that are there for the universities. And many of the ranking that Simon Fraser, it's ranking quite high if you're looking at ranking. So if some students like computer sciences, that it is a top 10 program in Canada according to Times Higher Education and also QS. Depending on which ranking table that you're looking at, some ranking place Simon Fraser as a top 5 school in Canada for computer sciences. Regardless, it doesn't matter like what major that you wanted to study, whether that's programming or AI or computer sciences, is ranked very high in Canada. So you might love the fact that it is a very high ranked program. In terms of hardware, Simon Fraser does has the supercomputer that it's on campus, so it does attract many projects or private or public company or government agencies to come to the universities and asking for or looking for a partnership with the university to run projects, because it does has the hardware available on campus there. if you don't like computer sciences, there's also a lot of other majors available on campus. Remember what at the very beginning I mentioned about if you are doing the stage 2 program, then you will later on enter year 2 after completion of the stage 2, and this is the GPA requirement that will require students to have in their stage 2 entering year 2. 2.75 is the GPA required for students to progress onto year 2. Arts and social science is one of the biggest faculty at Simon Fraser University. If students are interested into economic, English, humanity, or psychology, political science, they are under the arts and social science faculty. Students in arts and social sciences will require 2.5 GPA from FIC stage 2 to Simon Fraser University year 2. And 4.33 is the maximum GPA, so 2.5 is not very hard to achieve for most of our international students coming in to our program. It also offers communication arts and technology. If students are into design, music, or film, we do offer those programs as well for students. One of the most popular program would be the business school at Simon Fraser. So a lot of our international students do come in to study business or want to study business. And it is a top 10 business school in Canada, and it's ranked top 51 in the world. So a few things about Simon Fraser, business school being popular. So I guess the first of it is the hand-on experience that the university do provide for students in the business school. So it does offer almost an $8 million investment portfolio for undergraduate business students that would put their skill at test, where they would come in as a group and then to have the opportunity for them to invest into the financial market as an undergraduate student. So that it's a very unique opportunity. So this is just one example of what Simon Fraser University offers to international students as one of the examples that we can look at. And then the other thing is the business competition. Students do a lot of competition while they are at Simon Fraser. Of course, it is an option, but many students do participate in those opportunities. And it does won the competition of the JBC West Business Competition in 2019 and 2021. And it is one of the biggest competition for UG business student in Canada. And lastly, it's the co-op program, the internship program. In average, students earn about 19.7 Canadian dollars per hour. That is a pretty good experience for students as well, besides the income part. So Simon Fraser, in terms of course, it's around 33,000 Canadian dollars per year. Living cost is around 20,000 Canadian dollars per year in Vancouver. I'd also listed the entry requirement for A-level student, which is 2C, and an IELTS requirement of 6.0. And if you don't have that, we do offer an integrated program for students coming with a lower IELTS score. And if you are an IGCSE student, then we do have the stage 1 program available for you. And then the tuition fee is around 25,000 Canadian dollars there. The second university partner that we have is the University of Manitoba. It's a pretty research intensive university that we have. So the University of Manitoba is the Western Canada oldest universities there, and UM is ranked in the top of 350 university worldwide according to Times Higher Educations. The university has around 31,000 students, and about 20% of the students are international students from 110 countries. And U of Manitoba is quite popular for Singapore students as well. And U of Manitoba is one of the U15 members. So basically, it's a group of a very high reputable research university come together and create a group of U15. And as you can see, many universities are there, including the University of Manitoba. In terms of tuition fee, compared to the other U15, one thing that students might like about the U of M, it's about the tuition cost. So if you're looking at engineering, yearly the cost is close to 23,000 Canadian dollar, which you might find it a little bit cheaper, more affordable in terms of the tuition fee and also our living expenses. We are in Winnipeg, so that you might find it a lot more affordable living in Winnipeg, studying at the University of Manitoba. We do offer lots of programs for international students, but I'll say that the science and engineering, it's one of the most popular one for our international students. It does offer various engineering programs, including civil engineering, computer engineering, mechanical engineering, and I also listed the GPA, sort of the statistic out there for students who want to aim for engineering. What do they need in terms of their GPA at their stage 2 program? For sciences, U of Manitoba offer some very good undergraduate research opportunities. So if you're into sciences, technology, computer science, that sort of things, I think a student would appreciate those sort of opportunity as an undergraduate student, that you will also be able to participate in some research while you're doing your 4 years degree at the UM. Some of our alumni, because it is very research intensive university, so you will find that a lot of our alumni actually go on and do great things to the community or in the world, that including one of our alumni won the Nobel Prize in Physics back in 2019. If you enjoy sport, I think that U of Manitoba, you enjoyed it quite a lot, that we do have football, soccer, any kind of sport that you could have imagined, it would be available at the University of Manitoba, including a very good sized gym facility for students who like sport. And in the last year Tokyo Olympic, one of our alumni actually also won the gold medalist in the soccer game, women's soccer games last year. The tuition fee, again, at U of Manitoba is a bit more affordable. So if you're looking at year 1 stage 2 program, it is close to 20,000 Canadian dollar, and the living cost, it's 13,000 Canadian dollar. If you were to live on campus per semester, it's around 4,000 to 7,000 Canadian dollar, depending on the living style that you might want, single room, double room, and so on. The third options that we have to offer for students is Ryerson University in Toronto, so it is in downtown Toronto. We do have program in businesses, economic and finance, psychology, and also creative industry. So because of the fact that we are in downtown Toronto, so a lot of the students do actually get a co-op opportunity within the city in Toronto. And our economic and finance program is also quite popular because of the fact that Toronto is the #4 biggest city in North America. So it does offer a lot of opportunity for students in that area. For the majors of psychology, we do come in with the research centers as well. So if students would like some research opportunity there while you're studying for your undergraduate degree, then Ryerson will have the opportunity available for students in that area as well. Then the last options that we have available for students, let's talk about the tuition fee for a little bit. So for Ryerson University, our program is at 32,000 Canadian dollar, and for our stage 2 program. For living expenses, it's quite similar to Vancouver, depending on how far you're living in with the university. So if you were to live in downtown Toronto, it would be a little bit more expensive. So usually our students will spend about 20,000 Canadian dollar per year, and we do have a residency sort of nearby for students who are attending our UIC, Ryerson University International College. So for living in Passide, the monthly cost is close to 2,000 Canadian dollar per month. And the last options that we have available for international students is the work at Laurier University, WLIC. Our campuses is in Brantford, and at Laurier, it does have two campuses, one in Waterloo and one in Brantford. But while you're doing your stage 2 program, you'll be in the Brantford campus there. And then afterward, you might be in Waterloo, depending on what major you wanted to study. So at the Waterloo campus, it does have more students, close to 18,000 students there, and at Brantford, we have 3,600 students there. It's quite close to Toronto. It's usually around an hour, usually not more than an hour and a half, depending on traffic. It does have a train that to go from Brantford to Toronto. If students want to spend a weekend in Toronto, that's quite easy for students to do so. And one thing that Wilfrid Laurier University is very good at is placing students at jobs. And most famous for domestic students, it's the job fair. That there are 2 job fairs per year, which is the largest of its kind in Canada. So one will held it in fall, and then one will held it in February for students to look for internship, career opportunity, and also for graduates to look for a job at those career fairs. At Wilfrid Laurier University, our stage 2 program do offer a lot of program that I highlighted some of the most popular program available for international students, including the data science, communication studies, film studies, business technology management, and so on. So for students who are interested to that. So for computer sciences, it is in, because Wilfrid Laurier is in Waterloo, so if for students who know about Waterloo, that the Waterloo startup ecosystem is developed quite well. And there's a lot of tech company in Waterloo. So for students who's looking for that sort of opportunity while you're studying, I think Wilfrid Laurier University would be a very good place for you there. Some corrupt examples for our data science students. So they do, while they're studying with us, they do work for various big name companies, including Manulife, BlackBerry, and Shopify, Canada Life. So there's great opportunity for our students in that regard. So lastly, the cost, it's close to 30,000 Canadian dollar. In terms of tuition fee, the living cost is around 15,000 Canadian dollar. We do offer some scholarship opportunity for students ranging from 1,500 to 5,000 Canadian dollar, and there is a limit availability and also a deadline attached to the scholarship application as well. So if you're interested that to stop by at our booth, and I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about our university and also the scholarship opportunity which may be available to you there. So I would stop there and then see if you guys would have any questions. Thank you.